welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Joining us now is Matt Bretz. Talk to us this morning about the Kansas House Bill 2183 in regards to wrongful death actions.
Thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this.
Of course, I know it's something that a lot of people don't necessarily want to think about, but like for you, and it really is a reality for everybody that it could happen.
It is, and what this bill relates to is to get rid of a cap that the legislature enacted years ago that essentially takes away your right to have a jury determine your damages if you've lost a loved one, a spouse, a child, something like that. So as the law currently stands, if you've suffered one of those most tragic of losses, it doesn't matter what a jury awards because the legislature caps how much can be recovered.
Wow.
And so this bill gets rid of that cap and allows juries to decide, as opposed to legislators deciding how much can be recovered, what your loss is as a result of a spouse or a child or someone else like that.
Wow, okay, so this could be quite the change then for here in Kansas. And where is Kansas right now kind of compared to the rest of the country?
Kansas is behind the rest of the country. There are only 11 states that even have any cap. And then of those 11 states, Kansas has among the lowest caps. I had a sister who was killed when she was 16 years old, Valentine's Day, 1992. And at that point, it was worse to kill some registered bulls than it was to kill a 16-year-old who wasn't providing financial support to her family.
Wow. Wow.
And
I am so sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It certainly changed my career and what I do. But, you know, watching my mother for the last 32 years and 2 months, I mean, something like that, a loss like that, changes every aspect of one's life.
Yes, it really does. And again, for you speaking from personal experience right there. So like looking at kind of the caps that we've had now, or we have right now, you know, who benefits the most from having caps?
Insurance companies and wrongdoers. So drunk drivers benefit because while they may cause, they may take a life, they don't have to be fully responsible for the damages that they cause. Street racers who are reckless and take a life. But who it protects most is out-of-state insurance companies. I mean, most insurance companies aren't based here in Kansas. And so while insurance companies sell insurance based upon, you know, you hear mayhem, that mayhem's going to happen, so you need to buy insurance from this company. They sell insurance based on that, but they avoid having to pay full value of claims by having caps.
Okay, and so like looking at I guess the inverse of that then, you know, like who's the most harmed by these caps that are going on right now?
Kansans. People who have lost a spouse, who've lost a child, who have lost a parent. Those are the ones who bear the brunt of it. And juries aren't told about these caps. Jurors think that they are charged with deciding what loss a person has suffered as a result of losing their spouse, etc. And they are universally surprised when they find out after trial that what they've awarded isn't actually what is going to be recovered.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a really important aspect right there, because again, you would, as a jury, you want to kind of potentially bring justice, but then at the same time, you don't really know what you're fully delivering.
Right. Absolutely. And you know, we thought as a people, we believed that the right to a trial by jury was so important that it's in our Bill of Rights on a federal level, and in Kansas, it is part of our Constitution, that right to a trial by jury. But uniquely, in wrongful death cases, you don't actually get what a jury determines your loss is because of this.
And with these caps, you know, what's kind of the long-term impact for the families then?
Well, I can tell from personal experience. I mean, going through this with my mother at the time, and in the last 32 years, it's something that you don't get over. It cost my stepfather his job. He just emotionally couldn't get to it, get back with it. But I see it with my mom every time I see her. And you know, a couple years ago, well, several years ago now, we tried to have a 40th birthday party for my sister, and lighting birthday, you know, candles on the cake. I'm about ready to tear up right now about it. even this many years later, it's tough. And so a family doesn't get over it. And a cap that a jury's not told about, and you just don't get full justice. That's the long-term effect of it.
Of course. And so when can we expect this to go to a vote?
Hopefully soon.
Yes.
That's something that is up to the Kansas House as to whether and when they're going to hold a vote on it. So it really is something to get on right now is to call legislators and say, you want this to go up for a vote or come up for a vote, and that you support having juries decide, as has been the history of Kansas since the time we enacted our Constitution.
Yes. Is that the best way that the viewers out there can help right now? To call their legislators, let them know that they want this, to be discussed. They want this to go to a vote. They want changes.
That really is. You've got to call your legislator or email your legislator and say that you support this House bill, that you want families to be able to get full justice when they have suffered the unimaginable loss.
Of course. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for sharing with us, because I think a lot of us have learned just a little bit more about what's going on around in the state of Kansas.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
Of course. And of course, everybody, if you want to learn more about Matt himself, you can head on over to byinjurylaw.com.